Welcome to Make It Your Business, the podcast. Get the advice you need to grow your business by getting guidance from industry experts and interviews with successful small business owners. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
Hello.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, we're evening. It's finding time at the moment, isn't it? To get everything busy.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Welcome to my house. New location.
Yeah.
Rather than the office. But no, it's good. Wanted to have a little chat with you about SEO. Now, you and I engage. We talk SEO all the time. It's a main core product. But I don't think people know a lot about what SEO actually means. I was actually talking to one of the customers the other day, and they had the bravery to ask me, actually, bearing in mind they've been paying for the service for a while, what SEO actually was.
Okay.
Yeah, because they see the results, which is them getting more traffic. So can we rewind right to the Billy Basics?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so, what is SEO?
Because I guess to the less technically minded, it does seem a little bit like black magic, because basically, effectively what you're doing is getting your website to the top of Google for when people type in different things, in the Google search. It's all well and good having a nice website, but it's no good if people can't find it. So you want to make sure that, if you've got a website, people, whether it's an electrician website or, like a small bakery or, whatever it is, like if someone types in, like bakery in Huddersfield, if you're in Huddersfield, you want to get found.
For the people at home, the dogs that have to drink, and this is, don't work with kids or dogs. Come on, bro. Come on.
But yeah, so effectively, you want to make sure that your website gets found. SEO takes a great deal of effort and work.
Okay, so if I can ask you a couple of questions, it's a bit devil's advocate, or, I'm going to pretend from a naive perspective. Okay, so what does SEO stand for?
So it stands for Search Engine Optimization.
Okay, so in reality, that means?
Optimizing both your website on page and off page to try and make sure that when Google trawls through it, it understands what your website's talking about, and then it displays it for people who are searching for the relevant keywords. Okay, so again, you mentioned on page, off page, and Google crawling. Can you explain what those terms mean? Yeah, so on page is everything on your website. You need to make sure that your website is filled with. There's hundreds of metrics that Google looks for. As a Google partner, we sort of go through and make sure, we work close with Google and follow the updates, and, the algorithm changes all the time. The team go through and do certain changes on the websites to make sure that the website is optimized properly. And some of those things include making sure it's got keywords and headings in the pictures and the alt tags. Making sure it's got the right keyword density. So if you want to, get in for, being a baker in Huddersfield, you want to make sure that you've got like different keywords, within your page, so that when someone types it in, Google can match it up and say, this website's about, a baker in Huddersfield. We'll display this website because it's got lots of useful content on it. Okay, so to break that down, what you're saying is, I've got a pretty website and I've got a load of wording that says how great I am and how good my services are. But what you're saying is you have to put things in certain orders and have certain pieces of information to tell Google what it is you do. Is that correct? Yeah, no, exactly. And it's constantly changing battlefield. So part of what we do is obviously keep up to date with all Google's information. We also... we've got all the team, we've got all their listed checks that they have to go. So, again, I do know the answer to this. So I know it seems weird coming from me. I'm just putting myself in the shoes of a client. Okay. Yep. It sounds complex. It sounds like a lot of work. You said that, it's a moving, it's a constantly changing, why? Why do it then? Why even bother? With SEO? Well, yeah, it sounds like, as I say, devil's advocate here, but it sounds like an ongoing cost
that just keeps coming.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right. Yeah, the goalposts do
so
always change.
why do it?
But if you don't, you'll get no traction from Google. There's certain things that you have to do to even get listed on Google in the first place. And there's key metrics that we look at as a priority to try and make the biggest difference. But ultimately, it's putting your business in the face of people who are searching for what you're offering. So, ideally you want to match up with all the customers who are looking for whatever you're providing in your area. And the main benefit is you're not paying for any of those clicks. So,
So it's not like a cost per click basis. It's
exactly,
because most people do it. It's monthly pay. It's like what's the word I'm looking for? Subscription.
Yeah.
Subscription service where you're paying for somebody to put the hours in.
Yep.
And to tick all the boxes and do certain tasks. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Is it guaranteed, by the way?
It's not guaranteed, but yeah, it's like when you do so much, you get the results, and you can get fairly confident at sort of predicting what's going to happen with different things. So yeah, it's when we get clients come on board, we always do like a pre-profile where we go through and see exactly where they are at what different stage, what they need doing, and also sort of like try and plan what results they can expect to get.
So I tell you what, do you mind sharing, Chris? I'm not asking you to give all the secret sauce away, but can you give me like the top 3 SEO tips, like what you and your team do? I don't know if you like that.
Well,
okay, I'll do the top 3. They give me any 3.
We can.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that we do which are a complete must. So one of them is Google Search Console.
Okay.
So it's a free tool by Google, and all you have to do is basically create, if you've got a Google account, just log into Google Search Console, and then once you've got that, you'll be able to create a new property for your website, and then you've got to link your sitemap, which is basically like a little file that tells Google what all the pages are on your site, so that it knows where to crawl and where to pull up bits of information. And
so you need a site map.
so yes, you need a site map. Need to get it registered on Google Search Console.
Okay.
The second most, I don't know, it's very difficult to try and put them in order.
Don't put them in order. Just pick any 3. Yeah. Sorry, that was me. I think that keep us to the top 3. Any 3. Just like.
So meta titles and descriptions. So yeah, each page of your website will have a special. They're called meta titles and descriptions, but it's basically you telling the search engines how to portray your website in search results. Okay. So a meta title is when you search something on Google, it comes up with all the listings. Like the thing that you actually click on is a meta title.
Okay, could you give us an example of, say, a plumber in Brighton? What would that say?
So if you have the home page, for example, like you want to try and get your keywords in there, but also your business name. So you'd have, Smith's Plumbing, your local plumber in Brighton, providing plumbing services or something like that.
Okay, so you got the title would be sort of plumbing in Brighton, and the description's much longer. Is that right?
Yeah. So the description gives you a bit more information to try and put some more details in there and some more keywords. So yeah, you want to make sure that get as much information in there as possible, and it helps if you're a business that provides different services. It helps if you've got different pages for each service, because then you can have each service going to a specific page, and then you can target it that way. Whereas if you just got one page for all of your services, Google doesn't really know what you're trying to target specifically, so it's like a lot more difficult to try and home in on particular services or products.
That's cool. So that's 2. So we've got console, which was about indexing, and sitemap.
Yep.
Perfect. Then obviously we've got tags and descriptions. So another one for us?
Yes, I'd probably say speed. It makes a big difference, not only on SEO, but also user experience. Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing, I do it personally as well, there's nothing worse than sort of clicking on a website and having to wait a few seconds for it to load. You want to get put off going any further inside that website as well.
Mm-hmm.
But because Google knows this, so Google spends like a huge amount of money on research to try and work out what people actually want to see. And if you've got a slow website that provides a poor user experience, then Google's going to penalise you for that. So a lot of hosting companies, even in the UK, like they'll be hosted offshore, either in America or other places. Yeah.
Don't get the performance.
Exactly. And a lot of people just look on, value. So, if you've got a web hosting service that only costs $5.99 a month, then the chances are it's going to be, inferior and a lot slower than.
So would you, because I've been giving this some thought, and this is, I'm putting words in your mouth here, but in my mind, it's a bit like broadband. I think most people understand these days there's different speeds of broadband. And it's the same with, on the other side, with the serving of the website, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of like you can have 10 meg or you can have 300 meg.
Yeah. It's not just.
It's similar.
Yeah, it's a lot more detailed than that. So there's more complications. So, it's not just about the server where.
No, but simple people like me. They're simple.
It's not just about where your website is and where it's being hosted. It's also things like, making sure the website itself is optimized to be as quick as possible. So making sure you're not using massive image files.
Fast hosting, but the website still slow if the website isn't designed correctly.
Yeah, there's lots of different things to do to try and speed your website up. Server is probably the most important, but you can also compress images to try and make them smaller, but not degrade the quality. You can go through and just sort of add content delivery networks. So they'll speed up and preload your site. Can you link preloaders? So when someone hovers over a link to go somewhere else on your page, it already loads the page before they even click on it.
Okay.
So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's lots of different things. Like we use pretty much a lot of the tools in the marketing agency. To try and get the best results possible for our clients. But it's an ever-changing industry, and
Nice. As a bonus, so I was at a conference the other day, and SEO from a local perspective now, not national. So you've got local clients, haven't you?
yes,
Am I right in saying this was a stat that was spouted off? 13% of Google's algorithm now is reviews for local.
but so it's becoming more and more relevant. When you're a local business targeting the local area, then Google My Business that makes a big difference. And a lot of people sort of go to Google Maps to try and find places, and if you've got lots of reviews, then not only does that help in the Google algorithm, but when people see your business, it helps with the trust side of things. So there's more than one benefit for getting lots of reviews. I think we brushed on it in a previous episode, but
Oh, probably. If I'm honest, I do forget what we talk. I spent all day talking. So it's we probably did. But I just felt that was so important when I heard that stat.
yeah,
It stayed with me. I mean, getting reviews is hard. Not as it. Okay, if you're a good business, that's great. You provide a good service, but I think humans have trouble asking for things.
yeah,
So, as silly as it sounds, I think I'm pre-loading it here to sort of do not say to me, just ask. But have you got any tips for getting reviews?
Depends on the business. There's lots of different ways. Like one of the ways that we try and sort of help other businesses is automation. So if you're, providing a service, but you can automate, like once you've provided your service or sent your product,
Other completions.
then you get a follow-up email that goes to the customer
Like,
just to say,
and if here's your invoice, could you leave us a review?
exactly, yeah. Like a lot of the time, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine a lot of clients, a lot of people listen to this, have some sort of autonomous account system like Sage or Zero and those email templates. You could add something to that quite simply, couldn't you? Please leave us a review here
Yep.
or on Google, or am I wrong?
Yeah.
That would be quite straightforward, wouldn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And you want to make it as easy as possible. That's usually the best way. But also if you're a shop-based business, then having something inside the shop, like a QR code, so customers can just scan it and it takes them straight to a review page. That always works well. But ultimately, the easier you make it for someone to leave a review, the more reviews you'll get.
I mean, again, asking is the main thing. I was in B&Q the other day, this UK hardware store, and the lady was wonderful. She actually mentioned something. She was like, "Oh, have you got?" I was talking to her about paint, and she said something like, "Oh, have you got a discount voucher?" Because I'd mentioned I'd been in the week before.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, they usually, if you buy paint one week, send you it up." And I found a voucher, and just by going, "Oh, well, I think so," and I searched my emails, and we were talking. Then she said, "Could you leave me a review?" And I was like, "Oh, of course I can."
Yeah.
And left her a positive review, grow and all that.
Yeah.
So no, asking's important, but I like the autonomy side. Sticking that on the emails.
Yeah.
No, that's super interesting.
I think that's
So let's go back to the original. So SEO,
Yep.
we've said you've got to do it. You've talked a little bit about these programs, Search Console. I mean, you've got a couple of options, really, haven't you? You can do this stuff yourself, can't you?
Yeah.
You go to YouTube.
You can go down a lot of rabbit holes quite easily.
Yeah. But I'm guessing time-consuming.
Yeah, because you've got to do the research first to try and work out what.
Right. So experience matters.
Yeah.
But let's hypothetically say you are starting a small business. You have time on your hands and no money.
Mm-hmm.
You can go you can go and learn this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're a little bit further along the line. You require some more sophisticated SEO. Then,
Yeah, you did list a whole of them.
where do you?
So you list a whole of a marketing agency, and yeah, they do a lot of the hard work for you. But yeah, like any good marketing agency will give you sort of monthly reports.
That's the key. That's how you know how you're doing.
Yeah. So yeah,
Is ask for regular reports.
yeah, that's the only way you can work out if whatever whether it's you that's doing it or whether you're getting external companies to do it. Like you got to measure and make sure that what you do is actually getting results. So
I love this.
yeah.
That's good. There's two things come to mind. Three actually. Hello. You okay? Yeah. Working from home. I love this, by the way, dude. Two things. Out of hours. I'm enjoying having a beer with you.
Yeah.
And I'm quite enjoying me being the one questioning you. This is
the other side of the table.
yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. I think I've got to get a bit better at the interview side.
Can I get some guests on the show as well?
Yes. We've been really lazy with that.
Yeah.
It's so busy, isn't it? It's so busy.
Yeah.
Very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have to take a moment and get some more
Things scheduled.
Yeah, absolutely. No, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming over.
Good work.
I'll let's
Catch you in the next
get
one.
a couple more of these in. See you on the next one.